So we're gonna go out to the garden, check out some progress that's being made out there, as well as visit with a friend that I have here. But first I'm going to discuss something with you guys just to kind of get it out of the way. This is one of those things that might be a little easier to not talk about, but I made the commitment to live in a glass house, and though I do exercise boundaries and things I don't want to share in depth, I am going to go ahead and put this out in the open because you're going to see it and ask about it anyway. And I've been considering how to shoot this video in a turtleneck or something, but it's 90 degrees outside, so here we're just going to go with transparency instead. I am currently dealing with a autoimmune response of eczema, and my entire body is covered in bumps and sores. You can see it some on my face, it's on my neck, my arms, pretty much everywhere that you can see and all the places that you can't. I've been dealing with some health stuff over the course of the last year and a half. I am currently working with a functional medicine doctor and making some very drastic diet changes, just at the point of doing, let's just go completely drastic and then enter in back to some things being normal and see what may be going on. Health issues are hard because, of course, people hear that you're suffering. They want to alleviate that suffering by telling you what you should do. And in that, I've learned a lot of really good things. But also what happens is you say, well, I'm doing XYZ, and someone says, well, that will never work. You should do ABC instead. And it's all well-meaning, but when you are like crawling out of your skin because you're in so much discomfort or you're dealing with chronic pain, staying hopeful is very, very important. And so when you share, you know, this is what I'm doing, and you have some hope on it, and somebody says, no, that's not going to work, it can be extremely difficult. And that is why over the course of dealing with my health issues, I haven't gone into a lot of detail, because I'm choosing to remain hopeful. I'm choosing to do what I believe is best for my body and try to have wholeness. I have received some great suggestions. I am doing some things as far as like the eczema goes, but the eczema is not the issue. The eczema is a result of the actual issue and medications and stuff. And so yeah, it's a lot. I would like to tell you that this looks worse than it is, but it doesn't. And yeah, so it's a lot, but life goes on. Farms don't stop. Sweet Maya is amazing and is incredibly supportive and giving me lots of space to heal. Thankfully, we have help here on the farm, and yeah, I'm prioritizing whatever it takes to get well. And I am going to continue shooting videos in the meantime, as much as I can. You'll notice the last couple weeks that hasn't been as much as usual, but I like doing this. Sharing with you guys just keeps me in a place of romance over my life, and I really love being able to do that. So if you notice the bumps and the stuff, that's what it is. I appreciate your prayers, your words of encouragement. Lay them on thick, I will take them. I am definitely at that place. I appreciate it, and yeah, just hopeful and thankful for the health and the blessings that we have. So yeah. All right, let's go garden. So you guys told me, I think that these are the fritillary caterpillars here. There's quite a few of them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you guys told me that they could wipe out and then may pop like this, passion vine. And I'm just gonna let them have it. That's okay with me. I really enjoy the butterflies being around. They're good pollinators. And frankly, you know, that thing's gonna die when it freezes anyway. So we'll let them go for it and make us lots of new butterflies. So here we have some garden bed production going on. I guess not en masse would be the wrong way to say it, but quite a few at once.
She's asking if I'm saving building one to do a video about it.
Oh, gotcha.
Good job, Most. Thank you. What you got going on over here, Maya?
We're in the next phase of raised bed building. Alright, well, when you're building symmetrical beds so they're all the same measurements, it's easier just to assemble them and do all the same cuts at the same time. So we're literally just building the walls, and then we'll attach the metal here and then we'll assemble it actually in place or closer to where we're going to be actually setting them up. So this is just kind of like an assembly line of pre-cutting everything and then assembling.
Yeah.
And, you know, like an assembly line.
Yeah. And this is the cedar that we got locally milled. And this is the last of it, right?
This is the last of the 1x4s, and that is the last of the posts. I do have some more 1x4s and 1x6s on order, and then I still have all that 1x8 that I was going to use for the smokehouse.
You're still building a smokehouse, though, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you are going to use, not the. Okay, sorry.
What did I say?
You said that I was going to use for the smokehouse, which I know what you meant was and still are, but I'm a language person.
I guess what I was really thinking of is, so I went with Papa T last Friday down to the cypress mill. That's like an hour and a half south of here, and he got these big bundles of 1x for really cheap. And cypress is essentially the same as cedar as far as its bug and water resistance, only it's just completely white. And so I was kind of on the fence now of like I wanted to like side it with the cypress because I could like stain it and have a cooler look. And so I like the cedar, but I actually prefer the cypress. So I actually that's why that came out of my mouth that way.
That was, okay.
So if I don't use the 1x8 cedars, I'll just use them in the garden, which I'm sure you will not protest or complain about.
So I'm like finding myself wanting to ask you questions about the design, but you're planning on doing a how-to.
I am doing a how-to on this. I guess I'm never really done, but I feel like this is like the final design of the metal wood beds that I've been developing over the last how many years?
Yeah. Well, this is around 3.
All right.
We've built 2 other versions.
This design is not a whole lot different than what the last round I built in Arkansas. Only this one has a cap. And it's got a couple other small differences.
These are also you didn't concrete posts in the ground.
No, well, in the high tunnel in Arkansas, I didn't concrete posts either.
Oh, okay.
I used those metal supports. I guess the cap's different, and this is the first time that I'm putting metal cut shorter and putting vertical.
All right, so this thing's looking a little rough because it's gotten so big. But you may remember that last year I went to Ohio to visit my friend Matthew, and I brought this back that he had pulled out of his beautiful garden. And now you see I've got a couple of hydrangeas in pots that have been pulled up from Matthew's beautiful garden. Hello, Matthew.
Hi.
All right, you're the boss here.
Yeah, so which one do you want to put up here? One of them blooms earlier. It's quick fire. The blooms are more loose for pollinators, and the other one's firelight. Has bigger blooms, more like limelight.
You know, you choose. I don't know. You decide. You're the boss.
All right, well, we will do firelight up here because I really love firelight. Quick fire, it's great for pollinators, but it's not my favorite.
Okay, well, we'll put that over in the cottage garden because it'll bring the pollinators in around the vegetables.
That'll be good.
So Matthew started shooting a video at his house about how to transplant a shrub. That won't be up yet when you see this, but you can check out his channel to see it later when it does come up. But, you know, I will tell you, Matthew, you're taking a big risk here. Because?
She's only killed one of the 2 I sent at her other property.
Because what if people are like, watch my shrub to see if your advice is good?
Well, I can tell them how to do it correctly.
What, that I'm a plant killer?
It's up to the gardener after you get it in the ground. Test, test, test. You're not recording this and putting it on YouTube.
All right, I'm gonna time lapse while Matthew films his video. That's lovely. All right, so normally we would shoot this out in the lovely garden, but it's really hot out there. So, okay, Matthew, hydrangea king.
Welcome to Matthew's interview show.
Oh, okay. So, if you guys haven't met Matthew yet, you've heard me reference him if you've been watching videos here for very long, because Matthew is one of the people, probably the main person that I tend to ask questions about when I'm designing something or trying to figure out what I want to do, particularly with the ornamental garden.
She may not listen to me.
No, that's true. But I do get the advice. Hey, I have a fountain. I mean, and
that
I
wasn't
think,
running when I got it.
listen, mister.
Gotta fix that.
Ben, what are you doing crazy? Say hi and then let us talk, okay? All right. So yeah, I guess I can thank you and Ezra for the fountain, because that was Ezra's influence as well. But truly, Matthew does have one of those gardens that is hugely inspiring. It's just extraordinary, really.
Yeah, and it's fairly new, so for anyone getting newly into ornamental gardening, it's kind of a bug. So I started out gardening, vegetables and stuff, and then it quickly transitioned into all the pretty things. And so that's kind of what I've been focusing on for the past few years.
Yeah, so he has this amazing hydrangea hedge that is extraordinary.
Yeah, an incredible hydrangea hedge. I have over 100 hydrangeas in my garden, so I haven't been planting a whole lot of them now going forward, but I'm trying to differentiate some other beautiful things in my garden now that I'm learning about some other things.
So one thing I actually put in the video whenever I was visiting you. So we just released the sticker. This is a little side note, squirrel. We just released the sticker of the glass in the greenhouse, the stained glass. Matthew actually hound dogged that glass. I saw it, I wanted it, and then I sent a message and they didn't respond to me. And this homie goes and Google searches the image and finds it listed elsewhere on the internet, gets the person's contact, and goes. So it is you that
we'll be there in an hour.
It is you that I can thank for that amazing piece of art that I feel like was just made for me. But one of the things that I had shared in that video, and that I really like that you kind of teach people, is that you can spend money or you can spend time.
Yeah.
And we've really showed that kind of on the homestead front. But I mean, how many plants have you taken and allowed to expand and separated, or taken very small and potted up and grown?
Yeah, so I do a lot of that. I plant a lot of small shrubs. There are those things that you want to add as feature elements and go ahead and spend the money on them. But I planted over 200 tiny shrubs last year in my garden, just in fall, and I tend to buy a lot of smaller stuff just because I have a new garden, and as a budget-friendly mechanism to grow a beautiful garden, you start small and give time.
Absolutely. Well, y'all check him out. Thanks for coming to visit me. Oh, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. God bless you. Until next time.